Well, Coach, it is a part of the country that could definitely use the rain, but it's also going to make for a very wet track tonight here at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go. At their own 25-yard line.
Ready? 5-9. 52. They can't hang with us. What? Twist. What? 5-9. Check. Check 43. Shit. Watch the shit.
They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 2nd and 15 now. Breeze. And he'll find Hall. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 22 yards there, a first down. On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. On the screen, this is Coleman. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
Ready? 95, 56. 56.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strength.
Over. Switch it. Easy. Opposite. Sammy.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
Breeze now to throw. Open man is Michael Thomas. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 41-yard line.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
We got 21.
Throwing now is Breeze. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. And there's going to be a stoppage here. The booth wants to take another look at this potential touchdown.
Breeze pass complete to Michael Thomas. Touchdown, New Orleans.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Will Lutz on for the point after. Footing likely going to be an issue all night here on a rainy night, but this one is good. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go. Hey, we're set. UAT.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We take a win.
On first down, it's Brooks. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now it's Kamara in the passing game. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up a touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Watson buying time to his left. He'll run it. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down.
Watson on 3rd down. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Alex Anzalone drops him for a loss of 10. And it's going to be 4th and long. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
He'll be upended at the 18. That's a very helpful pickup of 9 after the play began at the 9.
Second and 1 at the 18-yard line.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Ready? 5-9. Check 52. Come on. Kill.
On 2nd and a yard. Breeze. They'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. If you got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
They'll run on first down. It's Brooks, and the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Second and 12 at the 22-yard line.
Mike 50. Watch the flag. Watch the flag.
Out of the gun, Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted. A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Here's Brees. Throw left side complete. It's Hall. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A very well-executed play. It goes for 29 yards. Brees going to come up here, 1st and 10, and he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far.
Check 52. Patch it. Hey, kill.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
95-56. Under. Easy, opposite. Big 21. He's check. Hey, wahoo.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Opposite.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing again is Watson. And that's incomplete. He was trying to get it to his running back, Alvin Kamara. 3rd down here.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Shaq Thompson making his presence felt on the sack.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this?
And that's caught inside the 30. Oh, and the big play's going to get even bigger as penalty flags are down. And I believe they're going to get a face mask penalty tacked on. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10.
Sammy. Check 99.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds.
It's our field. It's our
Check. 11. Slam. Hey, Alpha.
On 2nd and 9, Breeze. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
To throw, it's Breeze. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And nothing but daylight ahead. 20, 10, and they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. Charles, I'm looking at you, and understandably your mouth is wide open in disbelief. What were they thinking?
That's going to be one of the great mysteries, but I do know this. When they went out on offense, I will guarantee they told them, don't just make anticipatory throws. Make sure you see it before you throw it. Didn't happen here.
Trying to protect that lead, and now they gave it up. Robbie Gould on for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. You're down 3 under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half. That's not a deficit that makes me want to push it and potentially make a mistake in this situation and cost myself even more points.
But boy, getting into field goal range and tying it, that's tempting.
Awfully enticing. You almost talked me into it.
Go!
56, the mark, boys. 56. Check 56. Drop in.
Throwing on first down is Breeze. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
You're trailing. You're trying to get points late in the half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. He gets this one to Boyd. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Alvin Kamara, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Hey, 31!
On 2nd and 11 now. Watson out of the backfield. That's complete to Kamara. It's a gain of 5. And just like that, it's third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. A shotgun snap for Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Here we go. Ready.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now a play fake. Breeze. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
56 to Mike. 56.
Watch the slap. Watch the slap.
Smooth.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. He'll get 15 and a Saints first down.
Saints.
Breeze now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's first and 10. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
You go tight. You kill. You got tight right there. Check, 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 check.
From the 45 on second down, Breeze. He gets it complete to Harris. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Don't get nervous.
Where's that? 52, my 52.
Breeze to throw on 3rd and 1. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Whenever you see a team deciding to throw the ball on 3rd and 1, as a defensive player, my mindset is we've got them now, and that's why they dialed up the blitz and got after them.
But occasionally, you want to pass it on 3rd and 1. I mean, not a lot for sure, but sometimes just to keep the defense guessing.
Oh, no doubt. You want to break tendencies as you go along with the game, because you don't want them to just say, oh, 3rd and 1, we know exactly what they're going to do. But in this situation, as an offensive lineman, as a running back, I'd want to know why I didn't get the football.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. This time it's Kamara. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan. Throwing on 2nd down. Watson. And this is caught by Watkins. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The Niners have the 1st down on a gain of 11.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on it and then let him run.
He's got some space. Now a 1st down run is sniffed out from the start as he'll drop him for a loss of 4. It's a loss of 4 on the 1st down play. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Watson. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays, because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, particularly running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the 4th and final quarter. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Back to the ground. It's Kamara. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
They come out here in the eye. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Alvin Kamara, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Oh, and it's no good. He tugged it wide left, and that will keep our score right where it is. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
That's the way. 56. Mike, 56, right there, right there. Hey, kill. Hey, Mike, 7.
Now they'll run on the ground. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one, and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Hey, Delta.
From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. He's got his man, that's Wallace. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Check nickel. Under. Check. He's the opposite.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 11 at the 49ers' 49-yard
Ready.
line.
Yellow lady, yellow lady.
Right there, 56.
Two.
Check 37.
Hey, kill. We go 21.
Hey, exit.
56 to Mike, boys. 56. Check 56. Hey, man.
Ready, take.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he'll get it down to the 47 here.
Yellow lady.
The Saints on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 9.
Kill. 5-9.
From the gun, it's Breeze. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. DeForest Buckner has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
The Saints do snap it. It's Breeze. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion.
50.
Pick me up. Here we go.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Here a throw taken in by Watkins. 18 yards, first down Niners. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. And Watson's going to throw it here. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Tyler Boyd, his first touchdown on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
At their own 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The target that time, Michael Thomas. But now it's third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Let's bring it.
Hey, box truck, box truck.
Watch 56. Hey, here we go.
56.
Shotgun now for Breeze. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now fourth down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Niners will go on offense. First and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on first and 10. He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up second and 10. Throwing now, Watson. He completes it to Boyd. And he'll be stopped right at midfield.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. After the incomplete pass, here now is second and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So the victory here for San Francisco. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for the Niners, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Going big. Everywhere I go, they